What the heck happened to my eye? Hi friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name's Maddie, and a lot has happened in the past week. If you've been following us on Instagram, you have seen said events transpire, but basically about 3 weeks ago, we moved into a new house, so Pickles has been adjusting to a whole new environment. He's very fine, he's very mellow and relaxed for a pig. So he's been doing great, but then the Humane Society called and asked if we'd take on 8 puppies and the mama. So we had that on our plates. Okay, so that was all going great. The puppies were sick, but I was nursing them back to health. They're all doing fine now. But basically, about a week ago, Pickles, he started to get a little irked with all these puppies that were all up in his face and jumping around, and so he started getting a little annoyed. So I knew he was kind of on edge, and then I was, wanting to bring him in the bed and sleep with him and give him some one-on-one time. And then I thought about the puppies and how cute they are, and I was like, oh, I really want to bring a puppy in bed to cuddle. So herein lies the problem. I stupidly, while Pickles was passed out sleeping, brought a puppy into the bed with me, and I don't think Pickles noticed, and I put my head down next to him to sleep, and all of a sudden the puppy moved, and Pickles was like, whoa! And he just swung his snout right into my eye, and oh my god, it was, my whole eye swelled shut, and all of a sudden there was just like blood everywhere, and I went running over to find Steven, and he just looked at me. I came in and there was just blood everywhere. My eye was completely shut, and we didn't know. I was scared maybe he actually got my eye, because I couldn't even see. I was like, am I blind in one eye? Great, the pig took out my eye. I was like, that's kind of badass, Pickles, but let's hope that's not the case. So everything's chaos, and Steven's trying to clean my face off, and then fortunately he sees that I just have a gash under my eye. It's like 1 centimeter from my eye. So both my mom and my dad are doctors, so Steven calls my mom, and she, he's like sending her photos, and my mom's like, you need to go to the ER. And I hate going to the ER. It's just the worst, and it's such a hassle, and you have to wait forever, and if I don't have to go, I don't want to go. So I told Steven, I was like, now my dad is a trauma surgeon, and so I grew up as a kid, like, if my arm was not sawed off in half, like, I was fine. So even though I had mom and dad as doctors, I was like kind of like the cobbler's kid that had no shoes. My step-parents are also doctors too. So I was like, if my dad says I have to go to the ER, then I'll go. But anyways, my dad was like, okay, yeah, you gotta take her in, you gotta go to the ER. So basically we rush over to Kaiser. Now, keep in mind, Steven's with me, and I have this big black eye, and it looks not great for Steven, poor soul. So they asked me what was wrong, and it was like, there's just ridiculous things that happen to you when you live with a pig. And I was like, well, my pig struck my eye. And they were like, well, that's a first. So anyways, they called me back. I think they called me like, are you the one with the pig or something? And I was like, yeah, that's me. So anyways, we went back, and they were like, it's so close to your eye, we can't do the numbing gel. We have to give you a lidocaine injection. So I was like, awesome, let's do it. So they do that, like, right by my eye, and then they're like, okay, so one of the nurses had to hold my eye open while they sutured it up. So I feel like it would have been fine had I just not looked, but the thing was I literally had to keep my eye open, so I'm just watching the suture coming like in and out of my eye. So anyways, it was fine. They did it all perfectly and everything. And then I look at Steven, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm supposed to shoot a Netflix episode for this series in like 4 days or 5 days, and I look like Scarface. case, this might be an issue. So, flash forward to a few days later, this is probably like day 4, right? And I'm supposed to go to LA because I'm filming the next day. And I call Kaiser and try to schedule an appointment to get my sutures taken out. And they tell me they can't take me that day. So then I'm like, okay, I think I have a solution. I'm like, my dad, he's a trauma surgeon. Why don't I just, his hospital happened to be on our way to LA. I'm like, why don't we just do a good old drive-by suture removal with the pig in tow? So I show up to my dad's place of work, with my pig, who I guess my dad's nurses, they all follow Pickles on Instagram, so they were like, bring the pig in. So not only am I like driving to LA to be on some like TV episode that I really have very little information about in the first place, I have like stitches in my eye, the pig in the back seat, and I show up at my dad's place of work, and then Pickles just waltzes right in, it's just completely normal that there's a pig in the ER, and then I feel like, then my dad, he sat me down, and my dad took out my stitches with Pickles right by my side, and I was like, I turned to my pig, and I'm like, Pickles, this is really full circle here. It all started with you, and now here we are again. And so anyway, so my dad took them out and everything, and it was fine. So it had it had already been like just a pretty ridiculous week, and so I was just trying to stay positive because what can you do at that point? And so I was like, awesome, thanks, Dad. No copay, woo, family hookups. And so I go back in the car and I go and I start driving to LA, and I get about like 3 hours into my drive, and I realized I hadn't sent them the appearance release for this episode, and we had a very small role. And it was more just like an excuse for me to go out to LA and see my friends, and I was supposed to schedule a few meetings and stuff anyways, so I was like, okay, perfect, I'll just make a trip out of it. But anyways, I digress. So this contract, I look at it and it seems very ridiculous. Like, I was supposed to just show up, I was gonna get paid, not a lot, but just, get paid to show up and just kind of prance in with the pig, like I do, and then leave. Fine, end of it. But I'm looking at this contract and I'm like, this does not seem right. It looks to me like they are almost asking for all ownership of my videos and whatever I posted on social media and whatever I plan to post. It just looked really weird. So I sent it to my entertainment lawyer friend, and she was like, oh my god, don't sign this. So, and I didn't really care that much about the show anyways, but here I was, okay, I was pulled over on the freeway with the pig, like in the middle of nowhere. I literally saw one of those dust things, I forget what they're called, roll by, and I'm on the phone with this show's lawyer, and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry, but I don't think I could do it, and they were, trying to get me to negotiate, and I was just like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna happen. So then I turned around and I literally just drove 3 hours back home, and that was my week. How was yours? But anyway, needless to say, it all worked out because I'm just happy that I didn't sign the contract and I didn't end up doing it. And I think for some reason, Pickles, he was like so quiet the whole time and so well behaved. Honestly, I think all Pickles needed was just a little one-on-one time, a little TLC. Time with mom, little road trip to nowhere apparently, and we just did a big fat loop, because ever since we got home, he's been so sweet with the puppies and so tolerant, and he's like letting them play all around him, yeah, and it made me so happy. So I was like, okay, I think we're finally past all this, and everybody can just live in harmony for the time being. and I can sleep. But as you can tell, my eye looks way better than it did in the thumbnail. So I think we were all emotionally and physically on the road to recovery. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked this story time. Please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't. And you can follow us on Instagram and keep up with our daily antics in Animal House at Living with Pickles. And we will see you next time.